Many college students have gone to college and gotten hooked on drugs, marijuana, and alcohol. Listen.
If you were given the choice of a super realistic painting with a little cottage on it or your child's crayon drawing, which one are you choosing? I don't know about you, but I'm choosing the crayon drawing all day. That drawing is what the world looks like through the eyes of a child, let alone my child. If I wanted to see a realistic sunset, I would just go outside. A lot of artists are scared of AI. AI is on the path of recreating perfect technique within seconds. Rick Rubin's answer to this dilemma is,
what I find interesting about art is the point of view of the person making it. And I don't know that AI has a point of view of its own.
There will always be that hunger and interest in the artist just as much as the art itself. An artist's identity and brand identity should be synonymous. I don't know the future process of AI art and how involved an artist can get, but that's a completely different topic. That sunset drawing may have maxed out technique stats, but my child's crayon drawing has an unorthodox curation of colors, point of view, and most importantly, I fuck with the artist. I understand the value of technique, but without perspective, perfection becomes identityless. Yeah, add that to your dictionary.
Be like someone else. Don't try to act like someone else. Be yourself. Be secure with yourself. Rely and trust upon your own decisions.
I hate the term influencer. That don't rhyme with shit. It's just true. The term, not the influencers themselves, but think of your favorite influencer. All right, now name their favorite song. Boom. You can't because the only audios that they use in their videos are the trending ones. We have to be aware that these unboxing videos are essentially masked commercials. Masked. Your favorite influencer isn't an artist, they're just doing their job. I'm not hating, but it's important to separate the two. A lot of creatives who are looking to put their work out online ask the question, what are other people doing and what can I do to one-up them? Mistakenly, we look to influencers because they have the biggest and most immediate online presence. Keyword immediate. But if you look at it from a linear approach, it is nearly impossible to stand out against other influencers because they're all competing for, funny enough, the same perspective as every other influencer. But if you look at it from a creative approach, then you beat out 90% of the competition. Don't compete against other influencers or even other artists. Compete against yourself to bring out the best form of expression. It's easy to relate in a time where people project their perspective that isn't actually their own. You think your favorite artists gain their timeless status by following trends? Perspective is timeless. As an artist, the most important thing to do is not to box yourself in. When you follow these trends, you unintentionally box yourself in as a clone. Hold up, to always follow. The closer and closer you get to closing that gap between ignoring all outside influences and projecting your actual perspective, success will always follow. Law of attraction.
They become sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned.
Virgil Abloh's often criticized 3% rule consists of changing 3% of an already existing idea and you have a completely new one. You can see it very clearly in his early work, very 3%, honestly maybe even like 1. It's criticized because it is considered lazy or even borderline stealing. But once Virgil perfected this idea of building off of an already existing one, it's kind of genius. Kind of like, oh, maybe this guy is the creative director of men's Louis Vuitton. Recently, Playboi Carti has been seen wearing a lot of Bape, something that is still popular today, but originated in the 2000s. It was seen on the likes of Clips, The GOAT, The Other GOAT, and of course, Lil Wayne. This outfit went triple platinum. Playboi Carti recently performed at the 2025 VMAs. And his outfit was clearly inspired by the 2000s era with that 3% change. Dude even got the same flavor lollipop. Unlike the 2000s era who wore blue jeans and a white shirt, Playboi Carti gave his opium take on it by wearing a black hat, black shirt, black pants. By only changing part of the idea, you can still see Playboi Carti's perspective while still leaving enough existing content to show what influenced him. And in case you don't believe me, he performed like Weezy.
Oh, you don't see it? He moves right there!
Not consume alcohol. Do not get in the car with someone who is inebriated.
A lot of times when we're asked what are our biggest influences, we usually gravitate toward the positives. You know, our parents, brothers and sisters, frugal aesthetic, Brad Pitt in the 2000s. We rarely ever answer that question with the bad experiences, but we should be using everything at our disposal to gain a new perspective. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, I don't have any, but a lot of people hate on their ex or previous talking stages when they're probably the most influential people in our lives. I've been led on before, and not gonna lie, other than the first time, it was pretty... This is crazy. Other than the first time, it's all been pretty fire. Now, I know that sounds bad. The only reason why I say besides the first time is because I didn't know what I was getting into. Now, I'm not degrading myself, nor am I settling for that, but the good part about learning the first time is that I'm never super invested. That also sounds bad. What I mean to say is I was never super invested, as in it was kind of a whatever happens. Some things are just out of your control and stuff happens. Oh, look at that guy. Like, yeah, I was led on, but I didn't know that at the time, and it was fun getting to know that person in the moment. But after getting burned, you learn not to put your hand back on the stove and let that be the only thing occupying your mind. But at the time, that's who I was, and I was curious about a person, and I'm not going to whip myself for my curiosity. A wise man once said, "Shout out my ex though, she was the best though, got on my nerves." Are you ready for this? My dad was an alcoholic, and honestly, it was a tough time in my life.
Don't laugh. Seriously. Don't laugh. Get serious, but he's opening up here.
We're up now, so it's fine, but at the time, motherfucker was probably the most influential artist. It happened in 2020, so I was still young and in high school, but at the same time, Peak came out. He's done miracles on me. There's a lot of bangers on this album, but I would always listen to Believe What I Say. It was played over this super uplifting beat that samples Lauryn Hill. Again, Peak. Then once you start to sift through the numbing beat and listen to what he's actually saying, he's kind of saying some serious stuff. Celebrity drama that only Brad know. Too many family secrets, somebody passing notes. His lighthearted approach to some serious issues is kind of off-putting.
I like the track Believe What I Say a lot. It's a very warm and luscious, fun and catchy piece of hip house with a great Lauryn Hill flip in it. But the more I listen to it, the more the song feels completely out of line with the record's core vibes and aesthetics. Maybe in a way that is the point, because overall this does feel like a very cold and desolate album, and this is one of the only moments of fun on the LP.
Then Kanye explains his lighthearted approach in one line. Things I cried about I found laughable. When I first moved to New York, shit was rough. Those first 2 days of not only adjusting to dorming, but also to being in a completely different city by myself was a very uncomfortable experience. And when I would meet people, they would always ask me how I'm liking the city. New York and dorming are two completely different experiences. Like, I love this city, but dorming, bro. I'd always tell my friends this story, but the first 2 days of school, I had just ended class and I needed dinner. So I wandered into the Shake Shack. And dude, those first 2 days were so rough. I was on like the verge of tears in that motherfucking Shake Shack. I was in a public server edging tears. But I remember thinking, I'm never going to feel this exact same emotion, so I might as well do my best to really soak it in. And then I started the script to figure it out with the line, I'm super vulnerable right now. We'd always say we'd have to be retarded to run into the same problem twice in a row. And yet we're ashamed to address the negative experiences in our life as if they never happened. Just because they're negative feelings doesn't mean we don't have the right to feel them. So don't sell yourself short of the experiences you had to endure in order to gain the perspective you have now.
This is Mom. Call me. Bye.